That's what's most sad about this new America. So when I say we're at war, guys, these two visions are fighting. Government America has been growing over the last 80 years, and Barack Obama just zoomed it up to a really big high new level. And the American people jumped up off their couches and said, wait 1 minute. This does not sound like the country I know. My government doesn't do these things. My government, how about this? In the America I know, my government does not force a Catholic priest who runs a Catholic hospital to pay for and subsidize products that go against his very faith. In Freedom America, that doesn't happen. As of August 1st, it's law of the land. You're telling me the stakes aren't high right now, folks? Who's got one? Here.
I was back in, so I might have missed you, Joe, but I want to compliment you on being on the Chris Matthews show. I've seen you on the YouTube. I thought you did a great job while he's talking at you, and you covered it pretty good. You also mentioned the fact...
He's a big boy.
Yes, he is. You did mention it. I also agree with you when you talked about bringing our troops home from Afghanistan and probably Iraq too. I hate, as a former Vietnam vet, seeing body bags coming home, and you have to say, why? Why do we have to send them there? You want to bomb from the air, do it. I have to agree with you on that.
Well, and thank you. I didn't always feel this way. When I ran last time, I said what I thought was right. We have to stay in Afghanistan and finish the job and win.
They're being set up for slaughter the way things are going.
Thank you.
Especially under this administration.
Thank you, sir. It got really hard as I would say that every day. What do you mean, stay there till the job's done and win? What does winning mean? And it got to the point where I couldn't figure that out anymore. Here's what I believe. And again, this was controversial a couple weeks ago. I don't know why. There are evil people. There are radical Islamists around the world and here in this country trying to kill Americans. I want to win that war. I want to find these people. I want my government to find these people and kill them.
And close on care.
And kill them. That's the war this country's engaged in. I think what we're doing in Afghanistan is hurting us in that war on terror. My God, folks, we're at the point now, look what's going on in Afghanistan in the last couple of weeks. Afghan soldiers that we are training are turning around and killing our soldiers.
We can't be the policemen of the world.
Come home. I am so sick and tired of reading now every week about American boys and girls dying. Come home. Come home. Yes, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you. There's a lot of issues that we have to think about. Too many. I mean, you're mentioning just a few, but just focusing on just those few issues is not going to change everything. What I wanted to focus on.
Take your time. Hey, everybody, right now, I want you to give everybody in this room to give her the biggest hand of applause in the world. You have the floor. Take your time. Take your time.
My mind is like...
No, take your time.
Because there are a lot of issues, and I wanted to mention about the lady that made the comments about special interest money.
Yeah.
That I do believe that money is the root of all evil. So that is a problem, Joe, because you're saying you don't think money is a problem, but money is a problem when it comes to any of us. I mean, we all have our price for something.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You raise a good opinion. So if you think money's a problem in politics, What should government do about it? Give me your notion of what government could do.
You're talking about regulation now.
Yeah.
Okay, right? So you're saying the freedom that we have and should be not so regulated. But when we do that, what we're doing is we've got evil everywhere. You're talking about evil everywhere. It's also within ourselves, within our own country. Okay, so that's something that we've got to be careful about. And that's one of the reasons why we do need regulation, because people who have money want to do things that are not so beneficial to all of us. So that's what we have to watch out for. Not to have silly regulations, not to have, but it's the ones that are going to harm us.
Yeah.
So
it's trying to find that healthy balance.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And to be, thoughtful about it, not silly about regulations or rules that Congress may come up with. One of the other things I'm kind of upset about with what politicians are working on is, instead of jobs, they're focusing in on abortion and ruling about what women can do or not do if they get impregnated by a rapist. So these are the things that I'm not quite sure, I don't understand why our legislation is focusing in on that rather than jobs.
Thank you. Thank you. Two quick responses, and thanks for expressing your opinion. I don't know of anybody in Washington, and if they were there, I'd know about it because I'd be right there with them. I don't know of anybody in Washington who is advocating a world without any regulations. What Republicans and Democrats fight over is that healthy balance. And the simplification is, generally, Democrats believe in more regulations than Republicans do. Which is why, hey, fair's fair, elections matter. When President Obama got elected and the Democrats controlled Congress, they took our regulatory agencies and put them on steroids, because that's what they believe in. And so Republicans then got elected in 2010 and said, wait a minute, we got to swing that back. And so we fight about where that healthy balance is. To your second issue, and I'm going to be as diplomatic as I can be. That's a switch. I don't know that there's any member of Congress that has been out over the last 2 years, more than I have, talking to all voters. And I'll bet you I can put on 2 hands the number of times in the last 2 years when I've been asked about abortion. 99.999999% of what I'm asked about are jobs in the economy, debt, and freedoms. Second point, in Washington, the House, I don't even want to put a number on it, we've probably passed thousands of bills over the last 2 years. Thousands. And I'll bet you 98.777% of them have to do with jobs in the economy and debt. So I can tell you, even as a Republican in Congress, we're not focused on it. We're not focused on abortion. I think generally everybody, both sides, are pretty focused on, we got to put this country to work and we got to do something about this debt. Now, the Republican Senate candidate from Missouri said a stupid, insulting, offensive, and terribly wrong thing. And boy, did the media grab it. I can tell you, Republicans don't want to talk about that. Democrats would love to have that out there because they think it increases their chances of getting reelected. But this is the last thing Republicans are talking about or thinking about. Thoughts, issues, questions? John, over here. Oh, you got one back there? Yes, sir.
I do.
Welcome.
2010 elections, of course, that brought you to the Congress. The Republicans and Tea Party combined flipped the House of Representatives to the Republicans. Then we sat back and watched 2 months of lame duck sessions take place where the Rhinos and Democrats worked together, gave away half the score before you guys even got sworn in. What risk are we at that another lame duck session coming up, and no matter what the outcome is of November, that one of the one or two things you worry about most that the lame duck session will do that they can't do right now because of restraints coming in the upcoming election?
Well, good question. And I agree with the premise of your question. If I had been the Republicans way back in that last lame duck session, I would have said, don't do a darn thing until reinforcements get here. There is another lame duck session coming. And I generally am of the belief that very little good happens in a lame duck session. So it's certainly going to be my emphasis, and I'm going to encourage my leadership to do as very little as we have to do in that lame duck session. Now, everybody in the room should know that we asked our leadership to at least take the issue of funding the government off the table. And it sounds like before we left for August, John Boehner and Harry Reid agreed that when we come back in September, we will pass a 6-month continuing resolution which will fund the government into March, February or March of 2013. Again, a lousy way to run a business, funding your government 6 months at a time, but at least that's off the table for the lame duck, and we can have the debate and the argument about all of these tax expirations, about everything that's going to happen at the end of the year. If we don't do something about all these tax rates that are due to expire, you're looking at the largest tax increase in our country's history. So we can't let that happen, but we cannot sell our souls in a lame duck session like Republicans did last time. Over here, John. Hopefully you're all having fun. We're here till 4:30. You laugh. We've locked the door. True? Okay. Ah, that got you.
Is there anything that Congress can do to...
No. No, you're not done.
To prevent Obama from issuing all these executive orders and skirting the rules of the Constitution going through Congress? This is ridiculous. This is a dictatorship. This isn't democracy. I think executive orders should be outlawed. I really do. I'm still stewing over idiot Clinton insisting that every government document had to be in 50,000 languages to accommodate all the people in the country. When my dad came over from Europe, he went to school, he learned English, he became he was a musician. He had a 16-piece band. He played 3-4 nights a week at the ballroom. He taught music in our house. We had a comfortable life, and my dad spoke perfect English. His handwriting was perfect, and I can't see why anybody else can't do that. We have all of the people coming in here. Oh, we got to do this for you. We got to do this for you. Go to school. Learn the language. Learn.
Stay right here. Turn around.
You're gonna run for something.
Hold on. Hold on. Laverne. No, don't move. Or I'm going to call security. This is why I still have hope we can save this thing. Now, as Laverne went in to her passionate explanation of where things are at right now, I watched the entire crowd, and everybody's with you, and everybody loves it. And then I turned over to the Duckworth camera folks and all of our liberal camera folks, and they're laughing like they've got something juicy.